Hey guys, Leanna here. It's Mountain Monday, and in King's Quest 6, there's an entire aisle of the Sacred Mountain, so we're gonna go there.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
And here we are, we're at the base of the mountain. So as I climb, hopefully get it right the first time, we can breathe in and out. And
Whoa,
breathe
wait a
in.
minute.
No, it won't wait. I'm breathing. Breathe in and out.
Oh no, Alexander loses his balance.
Oh no! Haha.
Ow!
See,
Hey!
that wasn't nice of me to say. And that's kind of ironic because today I want to talk about
Whoa,
bullying and all that stuff. The stuff I started to get into in my Feedback Friday video and realized it was too big a can of worms to
Whoa,
get
wait.
into in that format. And I still believe it's a huge topic. And the reason I want to talk about this is, yeah, it's kind of a downer.
Whoa, wait a minute.
But I want to talk about it because, especially in conversations about this subject online, there's a lot of people, yeah, it's bad,
Whoa,
but,
wait.
and then you hear all these reasons about why people can't do anything about it, right? And I don't believe that's true. Here we are on the top of the mountain.
Alexander
Oh, no.
arrives at the top of the cliffs, somewhat
Huh.
wounded after his long but
Whoo!
uneventful climb.
There's the mountain. I wanted to show you guys something good, but I guess I can still pull it up. So if you guys can stick it out with me through this video, I will show you something so awesome. It is one of the most awesome things that has ever happened in a video game ever. That's an overstatement, but I bet you're curious now, aren't you? Okay, so I'm just gonna, whoopsie, wander around, show you some stuff, but there's no spoilers because all this stuff is soft. So yeah, about bullying. Someone made an interesting point the other day on Twitter that, a modern problem with bullying is that bullies call the bullied bullies. So how do you get to the bottom of it? And this is very true. I've experienced
Alexander
this
finds
myself.
himself in a dark cave.
And you find yourself in a dark cave when this happens. And then you need
Alexander
light.
takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it.
Aren't I clever? But so I mean that certainly is an issue, and that's when you get to conundrums like this, people have this tendency to sort of, throw up their hands, go, well, it's a difficult problem. What can you do? It's the internet. The thing is, it's not just the internet. The internet is nothing but a series of conduits
Falls back through the
to
passage
distill
the top
human
of the
nature,
cliffs.
right? And this is why I feel it's important to talk about this stuff, because of the fact that I think what we tend to dismiss as human nature in internet discussions is in fact the absolute worst parts of human nature that are the sort that, philosophers for hundreds of years, even thousands of years, have been trying to encourage humanity to overcome. And I find it interesting that I don't know if this is still live, so I don't want to get killed. So, I find it interesting the time we throw up our hands is not when someone's doing something good. It's like, oh, somebody did something good. Isn't that just par for the course? No, we throw up our hands when someone's being harmed. And we're just like, well, it sucks, but there's nothing we can do. And I don't like this because I know, based on, my own work, that the biggest single factor in terms of how someone who's a victim of bullying is going to recover from the experience is, in a lot of cases, the behavior of the other people, the bystanders, for lack of a better term. And so, it's really changing the way people look at bullying because, I mean, we get into this bully victim paradigm, right? Either don't bully or grow a thicker skin. Stand up, punch him in the nose. Well, everybody knows at this point that old punch him in the nose thing doesn't work anymore. What happens if I go down this way now? I don't know. They probably just won't let me. But That noise is annoying. I don't like that music. But I'm just gonna sit here and talk to you guys. That cool? That cool. All right. So, the the thing we know now about bullying is the bully has usually been bullied in the past. That's how they learn the behavior. The person being bullied really can't do very much about it except weather the storm, which the reason bullying is a problem is it works. It's very effective at undermining either people's ability to get things done or, their sense of self. And so the only people that really have any power to make a difference in the whole thing are the people around those two people, or in some cases, those two groups. And that's why I think it's so important not to just shrug when we encounter this, not to go, oh, well, or, my favorite internet buzzword, it's not harassment, though. I'm so blinking sick of it's not harassment, though. So what? So what? It's not harassment. Okay, we've covered that. We've covered that element. It's not harassment. So now what?
Whoa.
So what? It's not harassment. Does it make it right? No. If someone's being,
Whoa.
Mean as a one-off or mean in a way that's not personal, that's an issue in a different way. I mean, think about, the number of times, it's glitched. No, Alexander. Whoa, that's weird. Think about the number of times that you've read something by a developer
Alexander is a little busy for that, right?
Oh, it's glitched. Okay, I'm going to have to reload. And I'll load to the part I told you guys was awesome. So, think about the times that, a favorite developer or somebody who you really respect in gaming says something that stung, right? They're not deliberately trying to upset you, but it's upsetting. And I think it's important for people to be aware of that kind of stuff because, it does make an impact on people. It does. No matter how we try to get around it, it does make an impact. Oh, this is too loud for you guys. Okay. But, so I'm going to hang out here with Castle Grayskull for a bit because this music's okay and not too in the way. But, and this is why empathy is so important in these equations, is that everybody has feelings. Well, I guess unless you're a sociopath and then you don't necessarily feel things the same way other people do. But even sociopaths have feelings. They just, I don't know, connect with them differently or something like that. But the reality is that we all have feelings, and we've all at one point or another had our feelings hurt. And I think that too often we're so invested in hiding those hurts that we become insensitive to noting and understanding other people's limits, that we get so invested in toughen up that we really don't understand that if somebody's more sensitive, either in general or on a given topic, it's not their fault. We don't know what they've been through. We don't know what their experiences have been. And is it ideal to not react emotionally to things? Yeah, it is ideal to do that. But everybody has things that just get them. And you can think somebody overreacted all you want. I know there's moments where I feel like somebody, not so much that they overreacted and that's inherently bad. I thought that they should have been a bit more aware how emotionally invested they were in something and stepped away, at least for a little bit. But I'm not going to condemn them for that. That's just, one of these tactical things where what are you looking to get from this experience, right? Are you looking for an outcome, or are you just looking to yell at somebody for a while? And I think too often on the internet, people are just looking to yell at people because ultimately they've actually given up finding a solution that is meaningful and actually make things better. I think a lot of people tackle problems on the internet with they've resigned themselves to the status quo. And I think that's a really bad way to start. I don't like resigning myself to the status quo. I like to see the ways things can get better, and I like to improve things because they're things I already feel have a lot to offer. If something's garbage, I don't spend the time trying to improve it because what's the point? You know, you're polishing a turd at that point. You've got to think something has inherent value in it to want to improve it in the first place. And that's why I don't like people who just come at something totally negatively. You sucked at this. Well, okay, if you think I suck, go away. Like, if you can't say anything but what's bad about what I do, you don't get it. So why should I listen to you? But some people I have found have been really trained to respond to negative reinforcement, you know, to the point that they criticize me for basically telling someone, yeah, you're way off base, bye-bye, you know. And I always struggle with the idea, the challenge of when to respond and when not to on Twitter, because I myself have been accused of being a bully, and I can see why at times people not understanding the backstory could see that. And it's just, you know, you have this little group of people who just exists to pick at you and just, yeah, and you know, every little thing they disagree with, they decide to tell you, and they don't bother to tell you when they like something you've done. They disappear for a couple of months, and then they're back whenever you do something they don't like. And either they're not watching your stuff on a regular basis, they're just watching whenever a particular message board puts you on their radar or whatever. But, you know, I started giving back to these people and saying, you know, why don't you just go away? You know, you're assuming things about my intents. You're putting words in my mouth. Grow up. And then I start getting people saying, this is very out of character for you, Leanna. Well, yes, it is, because I'm tired of being a doormat. I'm really tired of being a doormat. And every so often, you just have to take a period where you can't let the comments go by. You have to respond. Not because the other people are going to even get the remotest clue, just so you can say for yourself, like, hey, I stood up for myself for once. And it's not always appropriate. Sometimes it's just both people lose in those situations. And it's hard to tell what. I've been off base at times for sure. But sometimes people just need to stand up for themselves so they're not a doormat. And people are really not understanding of that on various internet things. Because it has, bullying. Oh, bullying. Nobody should ever be, oh no, bad. And yet then I look at these people's Twitter feeds who have chastised me for something I did, and it's just full of invective. And so I think, you know, going back to that comment where I believe it was actually someone from Slate that said, I don't want to say their name because I don't want to drag them into this thing, because people have been just trolling my YouTube channel recently, and I don't see any trolling. I don't see any proof of trolling. Guys, the really bad comments, I remove. Okay, that's why you don't see it. My video from last Friday actually shows me removing a comment, and I did that for a reason, to show people that every so often I do go through the comments. And that is because I want it to be a better user experience for the people that do comment. I don't want the comment sections to be so hostile that people don't feel like they can leave messages of support as well as messages of disagreement. Because I've been getting the sense lately that people feel too intimidated to say they support me because they're afraid they're going to get dogpiled. And when I start hearing that, it's an indication of a problem. And that's why, as I said on Friday, I'm actually considering getting rid of my YouTube comments, like just turning them right off. Because if all they are is a beacon for haters, then what's the point? It's not an accurate indication of people's reactions to my content. It's 78%, I don't know how much. I meant to see 75, 78 came out. I don't know why. But, it's at any given time, 3/4 people who disagree with me, and that doesn't line up to the likes. So the likes versus dislikes. So what are the good of the comments? And that's an unfortunate thing, because in a perfect world, I would like there to be comments, but people are abusing the privilege. And this is the problem when we get into bullying and harassment and all these buzzwords that politicians like to all of a sudden look up and take seriously, when they don't look at their own behavior and realize politics is the biggest bully pulpit on the planet. It's all a game of how to make your opponent look the worst as possible. It doesn't matter if you look bad, as long as somebody else looks worse. Why they even look at a politician's unfavorables is really telling, because if their favorables are more than their unfavorables, well, that's good, because it means people are going to vote for them. If somebody's favorables are not high, it doesn't matter how low their unfavorables are. They're going to be people's second choice. And right now we don't have ranked ballots, and so it doesn't matter. I would like to see ranked ballots come up, in more politics, because it rewards less divisive candidates, but I digress. The idea of politicians suddenly taking seriously this idea of bullying and harassment is insane, because the entire political structures in the West are, ramming bills through government, horse trading to give people what they want, leverage and politicking. The very word politics it's the biggest problem U.S. politics has right now is it's a system designed to lock up when there's no consensus. And there's no consensus right now, so nothing's getting done. And, I feel like we're fortunate, even though I don't like the government that's been in power for the last little bit, at least stuff's gotten done. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of it, but I do see that it's better that we have a functional government that I disagree with, as opposed to a dysfunctional government that can't pass anything. Because when a government can't pass anything, when they're barred from acting, you get situations like Greece where the banks start to close and it affects the stock markets because there's no confidence that the job will get done. And I think it's similar when it comes to internet stuff, that no one's confident anymore that the job will get done. And so everyone's very distrustful and prone to lash out and prone to assume that someone is coming at you in a negative way. That's the thing that I've realized, working through some things regarding Twitter lately. Yeah, I have assumed that people coming at me are coming at me negatively, unless it's clearly positive. Because in terms of laws of averages, when I put up, why do people just comment when they're annoyed at something? And the number of people who just said, well, when you agree, there's no point in saying anything. That doesn't start a conversation. Huh? But that's the idea of the internet. So that idea that, assume someone is coming at you negatively unless you see otherwise, there's a basis for that. There's a reason to believe that. And that made me sit back and take a pause, because I'm like, do I want to engage with something that thoroughly negative? No, I don't. I want positive environments. I want to be able to have dialogues with people who are interested in coming to a common understanding, instead of just I don't know why people would attempt to start a conversation from a place of complete disagreement. There's no commonality there. You can't get to a common point if you're just saying what you disagree with. So I also don't have time to one-on-one debate everyone who has a bone to pick with something I've said. But that's sort of where I'm at. And so I thought I'd show you guys something happy, because I got some thinning to do. Got a lot of choices to make coming up, because I'm tired of just, hearing people say, oh, I'd comment on this, but I don't want to get torn apart. Or I'd comment on this publicly, but wow, you got some real assholes following you. Things like that. That's a wake-up call for me. And it makes me wonder what I'm cultivating with the work I'm doing. So instead of ending on the breathe in, breathe out, I want to end on something happy because I love it. You ready?
The skeleton.
This is, in my opinion,
hand something to the spirits.
one
that
of the
close
greatest
underworld
things
entrance.
in video games ever.
Ticket, please.
Are you ready for it? Okay, here it comes. Wait, I need to get control of the game back. Gimme! Gimme! I want to show the awesome. Okay, get ready for it? Here we go!
Alexander
Here it
picks
comes.
up the two bones on the ground. Now, what do these bones remind him of?
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
The skeletons are overcome with the musical call of the bones. They begin to jiggle, then to dance.
This is awesome, isn't it? It even gets better. Here it comes. Check that guy rocking out. Come on, how can you not smile watching this? But there's more. Isn't this happy? This is just happy. And the big finish is coming up here. Here they come. Skeleton kick line. Tell me that's not poetry.
Alexander finishes his tune, and the skeletons resume their posts. Despite their frolic, they don't seem any friendlier.
It's a metaphor for the internet, isn't it? Thing of beauty.